Hey Libras, and welcome to your June 2019 General Tarot Forecast. This is Sky here to give you guys hopefully a great reading for your month ahead. I actually love the energies coming up for you this month, Libra, because for everybody in the month of June, all of the signs, it's not the easiest sense of transition or transformation. There are changes, there are clarities coming in about other people, about yourself. Things you didn't know before are being made clear. Everyone is kind of waking up to something that for some is not comfortable. And, that's not untrue for you either. But I love the transformative, upright, obvious, clear idea of transition and transformation becoming comfortable, becoming energizing, becoming enjoyable for you in the month of June. Really beautiful energies, Libra. It's not going to be maybe as still as you thought it would be. It's not going to be as predictable as you thought, but the changes that come in, the reorientation that you go through here really contributes to your faith and your faith in the universe. Love is growing within you. A great month to start a relationship, to move past a previous painful relationship. A great month to relate to yourself and find self-love, find self-commitment, and a great month to move past any old, difficult coping mechanisms or styles of coping. Look at how all of the cards in your reading are upright. There are no reversals. There are no, horrendous energies coming up. You have that Five of Cups and you have Six of Swords, which can both be not the easiest emotional experiences, but there's a synergy with the other cards they're creating that says to me that you know what you're doing and that the situations coming into your life, the manifestations and karmic cycles exposing themselves are truly something that build you up. And despite them maybe being not the most comfortable in this moment, you take lessons and understanding from what happens here, and those lessons really support you in the future. So you have Judgment, the Chariot, the Empress, and the Sun as major arcana. I always say when there are three or more in a reading that it will be a month to remember. And they're all upright and they're all super powerful. Don't underestimate the comfortable change that you truly can have this month. New energy sources, new sense of rising from the ashes, new movement, new horizons, and new love all coming into your life in the month of June. And there's also an ability to want to stay still. Five of Cups sometimes can be a bit locked up, a bit frozen. So some of you may be coming from a breakup. Some of you may be coming from a difficult ending. But that transition that you've gone through there is something that builds you. And it's important to still embrace motion, to still embrace movement and mobility in the month of June, despite perhaps wanting to stay still. Because even if you stayed as still as possible, you would come into July knowing that something had drastically changed. So that change is coming for you no matter what. Will you embrace it here? Some of my more recent readings for Libra has been a little bit more pulled back. The energy for Libra has been a bit more subtle and a bit more understated lately, but this definitely catapults you more into a possibility of expansion, possibility of just being on the center stage. I also sense that your peripherals are activated here, so what you're seeing in the side of your vision is distracting you a little bit. There are familiar faces or familiar experiences in the sidelines that can deviate your attention just a little bit. Try to stay focused, try to stay connected to what is in front of you, and try to understand the bigger picture of what that encompasses. You can be distracted this month, that's for sure. We are moving towards Mercury Retrograde at the end of the month. It will be Mercury in shadow, and then it goes Mercury Retrograde later. But with all the other retrogrades happening, you, Libra, have an opportunity for really clear thought, especially before June 20th. So the first, 2.5 weeks of the month really give you a clarity and give you an understanding of what you're going through. And it ultimately all builds up with Ace of Cups as your central theme into new love, new appreciation, new emotional energy, and new cycles of healing, new cycles of emotional experience that you consider healing and positive. So just remember that regardless of what you're going through this month, that it all comes back to healing your emotional center, okay? Anyway, Libras, let's go ahead and get into the week to week and get some more specific insight on what is coming up for you. In the first week of June, you have Six of Swords rooted down by the Empress. So there's definitely a change in your love language coming on, I think, in the beginning of June. You are relating to people in different ways. And you could also see that a relationship goes to the next level for those of you who aren't single. You could be moving in with somebody. You could be taking, your relationship to a new level, getting married or getting engaged, or becoming just more committed to someone. But for those of you who are single, I think that what you want out of a relationship will change. And I think that you could see that a relationship starts really quickly, which might be a bit of a red flag for some of you. You might want to beware of like really jumping into things too quickly or moving in too quickly, because with all the retrogrades happening right now, it's just easy for the way that things are right now to change by September when everything goes direct. So if you started a new relationship and moved really quickly, you might see that struggles more in September. But if you went more slowly, it might just build stronger by September. So again, watch out for moving too quickly or for other people kind of having too much control over you. In the first week, you could see with Six of Swords that someone else is kind of in the driver's seat for you. Someone could be a bit pushy, and you might be being too passive as well with the Empress reading that down. That could be the only negative interpretation I would have of that, is the Empress kind of is a very passive role, and it can be commandeered sometimes quite easily. And with Six of Swords, you see the strong masculine figure kind of like driving, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, but make sure that you're on board with what's going on. I like that for Six of Swords, making sure you're on board with the changes that are happening, because you can just see that everything changes really quickly depending on how you express yourself. Week number 2, you have Judgment rooted down by King of Pentacles. So a big transformation and change in what you consider materially secure or materially safe. You are becoming safer. You are having a much stronger desire for material stability and security. Some of you are saving more, perhaps wanting to invest or wanting to change your investments for those of you who have them. And I think that is very supported. You don't want to take any risks financially during a Saturn or Pluto retrograde. You want to stay quite conservative as it relates to how you spend money. Definitely no gambles, especially with Jupiter retrograde as well. But well-oriented, well-formulated changes that are not risks can be very rewarding during this time. So definitely thinking about that during the second week will be positive. Also, you could see that your financial situation is revived during that time. So for those of you who have had a lot of debt or have gone through something like foreclosure, or your credit has struggled, you could see that there is a revival during that time, that something comes in that helps you to reverse that situation. So yes, also for those of you who have done very well financially, or well with credit, well with debt, you could see that there's a temptation there to do something a bit risky. So just watch out. It's a change one way or another in your financial situation. So a positive way to channel that is just really looking at all of the details and budgeting it well, understanding where you are, and making sure you're satisfied with that. Week number 3, you have the Chariot rooted down by the Sun. Probably the most energetically fueled week of the month, although they all are to a degree. You have so much energy during the third week of June, okay? And the third week of June, I've noticed for everyone, that's like right as we're entering into Cancer season, it's been really, really energetically concentrated for almost all of the signs. And for you, Libra, fellow cardinal sign to Cancer, there is a huge change underway. Six of Swords, Judgment, and the Chariot together in a reading is penultimately change and transformation. So you could be moving, you could be, your heart could be moving. Even if you're not moving house, there's a sense of operating differently in the house, as if it were completely different than the way it were before. Gigantic leap of faith for some of you, and perhaps even long distance traveling for others. There's a lot of energy behind traveling. Again, whether that looks like, globe trotting or making a change internally, you are somehow traveling in the third week and somehow really processing, and like a procession. With the Chariot and the Sun, both of them are kind of like on horseback or being led by horses. So there's a sense of regality with you, like almost like a noble, regal fanfare experience, or other people experiencing you in that way. So you are very much connecting to being above other people in a way as well. So watch out for that. You could be considered as a bit egoic or holier than thou if you're not careful during that time. It doesn't mean that you are, but other people may experience you that way. So watch out for how you come off. Make sure you're not seeming too arrogant or too much, even though you have so much. Like, you probably have more energy than any other sign right now. Watch out for, what do I want to say? Watch out for playing that up in a way that comes off discourteously or something. Week number 4, you have 5 of Cups rooted down by King of Cups. Suddenly things shift into a much more emotional territory. We suddenly get very watery there. So you will see that the changes that you make do bring up how you've experienced changes of the past. And there's such an evolution happening there. I actually really like 5 of Cups rooted down by King of Cups, because it says to me that through any type of emotional experience that you go through, there's an evolution, and there is a mature way of reacting to that. So you might see that you find yourself emotionally deep or heavy or concentrated, but there's a reserved, calculated way and a mature way of responding to that and rising above that. Watch out for being too dwell oriented. So watch out for dwelling too much. Watch out for being too fixated on things that are difficult. Make sure you're also counterbalancing that with things that are good. But other than that, I mean, allow yourself emotional purge during that time if you need it. Allow yourself to vent or let the emotions go with that purpose, not just for emotional catharsis. Are you crying or are you experiencing emotion? But to really get past things and let things go. You grow so much, Libra. Your central theme for the month is Ace of Cups, and I love it. Perfect central theme for all of this energy, because you, through this transformation and change, are just growing emotionally, having more energy to work with, more hormonal balance, more chemical balance in the body, more nutrients, more emotional, physical nutrients coming in through the experiences you go through here. New love being born. This is such a new relationship month for most Libras. So if you're single, this is a month where dating is recommended, I think. But again, just be wary of taking things way too fast. But again, important people being met, even platonically. New great friendships can come in, and just people who are more on your side and people who understand you more. So congratulations for that, Libra. I'm going to leave it on that positive note. Fill in the rest for yourself with your own experience. And this has been Sky, here to give you, hopefully, an amazing reading. Your likes, comments, and subscribes make my day. Thank you so much. And if you guys haven't seen my moon video where I talk about each moon sign, the houses, and all of that stuff, I'll link that below. And you can also find my new ebook about the moon there too, and I'll put that below too, where you can pre-order my ebook, which is about the moon signs, the house that they're in, and the phase of the moon, and how that affects you, and how you can use it to heal more. So thank you so much for checking that out. Again, the description box has a lot of other good links there. So thank you so much, Libras. We'll be talking soon. Much love. Bye.